Hey guys, on today's show, we're going to talk about the John Bolton raid that shook the world a couple days ago, and how basically Trump has been right about everything, and how I think that the excrement is about to hit the fan in many, many ways. Then we're going to talk about you remember that conspiracy theory where we were talking about the Great Replacement theory and how Democrats were just basically importing illegals to turn them into voters. Turns out we were right. And there's been a new study released to prove it. And then finally, we're going to discuss the girl bosses ruining Cracker Barrel. So stick around for all that today on the Angela Box Show.
Hello, my name is Angela Box. So you're talking my name.
John Bolton was raided on Friday. And unlike past raids on Roger Stone, for example, CNN was not called, and CNN was not there with a bird's eye view. And Roger Stone had something just glorious to say to John Bolton. Karma's a bitch. And Trump was walking around the Oval Office in the White House on Friday, wearing a hat, wearing his MAGA hat, but it wasn't MAGA. It said Trump was right about everything. And I'm telling you what, man, if that is not a shot across the bow, I do not know what is. I mean, he has been right about like everything. And the things that people in like the conspiracy theory movement have known is coming, like that the whole Trump-Russia collusion was a hoax, that a Crossfire Hurricane was a hoax. There's major problems with the Clinton Foundation. Hillary Clinton is probably involved in child sex trafficking and human trafficking. The Wiener laptop is just chock full of unbelievably evil, incriminating evidence, like et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like all these things that we've known, the general public is now learning. Okay. So the John Bolton raid is the first shot across the bow, I think. And they said that they were going in to raid him for classified documents that he had, allegedly. But then JD Vance came out later that day, and Kristen Welker of NBC News was like interviewing him, and she was like just so upset. She was in her feelings. She was like, well, what do you say to people who says that you're like politicizing this and weaponizing the DOJ? And it's like, listen, lady, like I know, listen, let me give a caveat here. I know that your viewers are retarded. All right. Retarded. Okay. And JD Vance was like nodding. He's like, okay. Well, you mean like what they did to Trump for 4 years and innocent people, and they invented a Trump-Russia collusion hoax, and they tried to destroy innocent people's lives? You mean like that? Or like they had charged Trump with ridiculous charges that now have been thrown out by courts? Like, you mean like that? Like trying to bankrupt people and destroy people's lives that are innocent and didn't do anything except work for Donald Trump? You mean like that? Like, go F yourself, lady. Anyway, JD Vance said that essentially, yeah, we're looking at classified documents, but it might go beyond that. And everybody knows it does. Okay. Bolton is as deep state as they come. And I am very ashamed of myself to say that I used to support John Bolton. I used to think he was a badass. I used to think George W. Bush and Dick Cheney were great. So I'm sorry. Mea culpa. But this is just, I predict, the first shoe to fall. And I suggest that all of you deep staters, you Adam Schiffs out there, trying to raise money for your legal defense fund, thinking that the only thing they're going to get you on is mortgage fraud. No, it's not. It could be like an Al Capone thing, and they could just throw him in jail for that while they're working on everything else. But I would say to all of you, you better lawyer up. And it's going to be very interesting. I think that this is getting ready to escalate, if you will. And I think Trump wearing that hat in the Oval Office is it's a pretty good sign that is coming. And actually, Kash Patel, the great Kash Patel, tweeted out as the raid was going on. He said, to quote Democrats, no one is above the law. FBI agents on a mission. So yeah, nobody's above the law. Isn't that what you always told us, Democrats? F around, find out. And y'all are in the finding out portion of our broadcast. And it is popcorn time. Okay, next I have some more Democrat schadenfreude for you. Democrats are in a death spiral. Democrats are hemorrhaging so many voters. The latest count is that they've lost 4.5 million voters nationwide since 2022 or 2023. Like in 2 years, they're just hemorrhaging support because they've gone completely insane. And there's another video that I did about this group called Third Way that is basically the people that created the problem with the ridiculous language we have now that Democrats say, like it just trips off their tongues. They're basically telling Democrats, here's what you can't say anymore because normal people don't like it. And Democrats aren't going to go quietly back into that good night, I do not think, because half of their party wants them to go full AOC, full Zohran Memdani, full Representative Ratchet, like go all the way, go all in. So if you think that those people that you have basically weaponized and militarized to be completely insane, if you think they're going to go back and like be normal, like I don't think so. So look for the Democrat Party to continue to hemorrhage voters, which brings me to the conspiracy theory that once again was proven correct. Remember that whole great replacement theory, or the idea that Democrats, the only reason Democrats are bringing in all these illegal aliens is because they want to create voters? And everyone's like, well, duh, obviously that's what it is. And the media's like, that is a ridiculous statement. That is racist and you're just crazy. And it's like, well, why is Biden like going to the border and taking tens of thousands of illegals and flying them to red states? Why is he doing that if he's not trying to change the electorate in that state? Obviously, that's what Democrats were doing. Now, it's twofold. Democrats need the illegals to, somehow figure out how to vote, which they are voting. They're 100% voting. They're getting Social Security cards. We know these things are happening. But it's also so that to apportion for Congress. Now, Trump has basically said, we're going to be taking a new census. And the new census is not going to be counting illegal aliens because that shouldn't happen. And so that's what we're going to be doing. Not only that, but all the red states are now doing what Democrat states have done low these many decades. And they're getting ready to gerrymander their states because Democrat states, they are really up in arms about Texas, what Texas has done, gaining 5 seats. In Florida, they're doing the same thing. Indiana is doing the same thing. And other red states are going to follow suit. And they're just like, what they're really mad about, they're not mad really. I mean, they're mad. They don't want to lose seats, obviously. But they're mad because the Republicans are finally playing the Democrats' game. That's what they're mad about, okay? Because Eric Holder, of all people, is literally in charge of a group that wants to gerrymander the hell out of all these blue states. Like, what are you even saying? Okay. Like, keep crying. And I love how Gavin Newsom, man, Patrick Bateman, whew, that guy is the best they've got. And he is out there on X feeling himself. He is thinking he is just killing life right now, you guys. And he's like, I'm going to go ahead and sign this gerrymandering order, even though by the California Constitution, he can't, but he's just going to do it anyway because he's a Democrat, whatever. Like, knock yourselves out, okay? Because blue states don't have any room left. Like, so many of these blue states are like gerrymandered to 90%, 95%, 87%. And in fact, Texas was only gerrymandered to about 60%. And then the new map draws it to like 72%. So it's still less than every single other blue state. So have at it, Gavin Newsom, have at it, blue states. Like, cut all the Republicans out. We're just going to cut all of you out. And guess what? When you look at a map of the United States, guess what? It's all red, except for a few little blue pockets. So how do you think that's going to work out for you? I don't think too well, but by all means, flame on. Back to the illegal aliens. Biden was flying them in, and Pew Research just released a study that said, yeah, there was a million illegal aliens released into blue states and swing states. To do what? Oh, to change the electorate. So we'll see your blue state gerrymandering, and we will raise you a much bigger problem for you Democrats because there's more of us than there are of you, and red states outnumber blue states, and red areas outnumber blue areas. So you're effing around, and now you're finding out. Okay, finally, Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel. Boy, that little tiny bit of middle Americana that when you walk in, yeah, it's vaguely homesick. It reminds you of grandma's house a little. And you're like, but also, it's like a mix, right? And Cracker Barrel has really good food. It's like a home cooking type of experience. And, nobody was asking for a modern rebrand of Cracker Barrel. Certainly no one was asking a bunch of two woke girl bosses. Who cares what their names are? They're going to be gone next week anyway. It doesn't matter. Two woke girl bosses that just came in. They're like, you know what this place really needs? We just need to modernize it. We need to make it like, just, I don't know, shine it up a little bit. This logo. Oh, this logo is very problematic. Like, is that a white man on a barrel? Is this white man like getting ready to go whip a slave? Like, I feel like that's what's getting ready to happen here. So let's make sure to like completely wipe out any history of the Cracker Barrel logo and just make it some generic thing. Anyway, this soulless rebrand that Cracker Barrel is undertaking is not going so well. It is going about as well as the Dylan Mulvaney Bud Light debacle, or the Target transing kids with satanic merchandise debacle, or the Jaguar revamp debacle, all of which have seen the brands completely just crater. So they thought, you know what the world really needs? They need 2019 and 2020 back. We need to go back to that great time in America and just completely wokeify everything. Like, we got rid of Aunt Jemima. Let's get rid of Cracker Barrel, right? So anyway, these girl bosses that thought that this is what America was clamoring for, whatever, they are getting their asses handed to them by even Democrats, you guys, even little twinks like David Hogg. David Hogg is out there saying, this is not a good idea, you guys. This is not a good idea. And the Democrats official X accounts, like, we hate the Cracker Barrel rebrand too. Like, this is stupid. And here's the deal, guys. A year ago, they wouldn't have said boo about this, okay? Until the Target debacle, until the Bud Light debacle, until we in the MAGA economy, as I like to call it, are now realizing that we don't have to shop at certain places and we can go elsewhere and we can go to stores and to industries that don't hate us. That's when everything started to change. And so these two girl bosses, which, let's make 2025 and 2026 the year that girl bosses finally get thrown on the dustbins of history, because they have been quite the problem children in our world for quite some time. Side note, every woman I've ever worked for has been an absolute nightmare. Okay. They suck. Girl bosses are a very annoying group. Yeah, I think like 2 years ago, I said 1 year before, it's been like 2-3 years ago, when the whole, when Bud Light was effing around before they found out, when they thought this would be a great idea, when some girl boss over at Bud Light was like, you know what beer drinkers of America really want is a tranny telling them to drink Bud Light. Like, that's what we need in America. And Jaguar hired some flaming homosexual. It was like, this is what Jaguar really needs. Just let's destroy an 100-year iconic brand and woke rebrand it and have pink cars, because that's what everyone wants to drive anyway. Or Target with their satanic transing of kids merchandise. Like, if this was 2 years ago, the Democrats and people like David Hogg probably would not have said boo about it. They'd probably be like, this is so refreshing. Isn't this great? No, it's not great. See, what they're doing is they're taking away the nostalgia, the Americana. They're taking away the Christian music that pipes through the sound system, and they're now serving alcohol. So it's like, do they not understand that their primary demographic is like Bible Belt Middle America? Like, what is this even? This is another stick in the eye by the woke culture that is, again, these people like thirdway.org are trying to tell the Democrats, danger, Will Robinson, you need to stop doing this, even though we created this and told you to do it in the first place, but now we're telling you to stop. They're not going to stop, you guys. They're still going to push their crap. And so we need to have an over-under on when these little girl bosses are going to be axed from Cracker Barrel. I hope soon. It's probably going to give it a week. Give it a week. And in the meantime, take your money that you were going to go to Cracker Barrel and go buy some American Eagle jeans, because they're doing just fine, ladies and gentlemen. Just fine. right, that's going to leave today's video. Please let me know what you think down below, and I will see you in the next one. Like, subscribe, do all the things. That will be done. Bye.